Okay, welcome back to Taco Bowler Gaming. My name is Taco Bowler, and we are going to continue our tutorial playthrough playing as Castile, eventually to be Spain. And in the last episode, we managed to successfully navigate over to the Caribbean and then failed to get back home. And we lost our entire combat navy and transport navy. So I'm preparing for that. I think I also have 4 units that were on that fleet. So we have room for 10 units here if we wanted them. I'm not going to build all 10, and I'll show you why. We do have 11 light ships over here, and I recommended to have, at this point in the game, probably half of a force limit in transports, half of a combat width in transports, and then the rest light ships, eventually hoping to have full combat width and then double a combat width eventually by about military tech 15 or 17-ish. You want to have double a combat width in transports or 1 full army, or at the very least a combat width, because that would be half of an army at that point. So you want to have combat width in transports and then light ships up to your force limit. If not, light ships for your force limit, and then combat width and transports above and beyond that for Navy. I am only going to build 12 because at this point in the game I only have 32. I don't want to have 24 of them taken up by transports. So we're just going to build, and we're just going to build around because 12 is a lot. You could go down and zoom down and say, okay, what are the fewest number of days possible? I don't want 593 days, so we do want to at least make sure of that, right? But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then at this point, it may not hurt to just go ahead and build a light ship everywhere else. And we're going to get that Navy ready to go. We have 3 more that we could build, but we'll build them later. I still have 119 left. I did check and see when you have the institution, when it becomes available in your country, it's going to cost money to embrace. We'll get to that point at some point. But we only have 51% here. So we're about halfway in Toledo. Aragon does have 1 province that's accepted, actually a couple. And you can see that this is going to be 73%, and that's going to be a friendly province. So once this one embraces it here, these 2 will start growing very quickly. So this is actually probably going to be the first province in my country that gets the institution, excuse me. Well, actually, it might be Porto here at 86%. One of those 2 will get it first, but eventually we'll get to how to embrace it here. But I will need to save up money for that, just not quite yet. I am recognizing that we will have military technology coming in a year. Actually, in a month, we'll be needing to get that, but we won't worry about that because I want to get up to Diplotech 5. Oh, wait, no, I don't. Okay, so I looked at that before the game, too. So in a year, we will be on time for military tech. We will go from +5 to 0, probably even a -5, if not -10 for a neighbor bonus. Probably -5 for a neighbor bonus. So it likely will cost roughly 800 or so, maybe 790 military power. So by February or March, I will be taking this military technology, and military technology is, of course, very important. At that point in time, I will not have anywhere near enough power to take Diplotech 5. But I'm making 7.66 ducats in income every month with colonial maintenance at 6, and one of those colonies, Cabo Verde, is about to get done pretty quickly here. So I'm actually going to, as I say actually 15,000 times, to take the military technology, not take the diplo technology. I'm going to finish the end of exploration ideas, get that naval force limit modifier, and get the fabricating claims in overseas territories. And I'm going to do that at the cost of corruption. So we'll see that happen once I take that. And the reason is I have the money to deal with it. If I didn't have the money to deal with it, then I would be taking the technology before the idea. But that is the basic gist there. And then I am going to build up. Now, when we take Military Tech 7, Military Tech 7 is one of the most important ones that you can get because it brings in artillery. This is the first tech that will have artillery. So as I'm building up my army and replacing what I just lost, I am thinking, I know in just a few months, I'm going to be at Military Tech 7, and I'm going to want to build one cannon. Only one. So I want to make sure that I have one unit, one force limit left at the end of this building. So I'm definitely going to build up to 9. But in reality, I'm going to notice that this is at 24. This is at 17. This is at 20. It needs to be at 24, and this is at 17. I think I'm going to build 8 so that we can have 24 here. And then 4 for the rebuilt Navy when we go exploring again. So that is my plan, and then I will build one cannon once that becomes available. Now you notice that Granada here has 96 days. I'm going to figure out why it is so much time to build it. It should be able to build while still doing the missionary, but it could be that Unrest is dealing with... okay, so yes. The Unrest here is causing local shipbuilding time and recruitment time to be higher. I'm curious why that Unrest is, but that might be my only province with... Okay, Gabu also has Unrest. Where is Gabu? Oh, Gabu is down here. That's right. I could build some more light ships in the islands, actually. All right, so that is unknown to me before doing this here. Unrest causes recruitment time to be increased, which makes sense if you think about it. But we are going to just build 8, and we're going to build them just basically not in the provinces that are building a ship. 4, and then I'll just build 5, 6, 7, and 8 somewhere up in the north for ease of gather. And then I have a little bit of extra money, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and build some light ships out here in the islands, and that'll be one more ship that is building. Now we have 17, and we will make 7 on the next one. The last thing I wanted to do was to note that now that I have a center of trade in the Ivory Coast node, the Ivory Coast node is here. Now that I do have a center of trade, or if I manage to get this estuary, that would be important too. I actually have 30% of the trade power in this node. And right now, no one's really doing much of anything. The Safi node is nice. It's better than Tunis, kind of. But in reality, only one nation is really going to be collecting here, and that's Morocco. I guess Taflit and Sus and Marrakesh also. But there's only one way it can go from here, so you don't need a merchant in the Safi node unless you just have nowhere else to put it. And so now that we have explored it down here, we do have somewhere else to put it, and a merchant is way better in the Ivory Coast node than it is in the Safi node. We are unable to send a merchant, though, so I think that we have to core. Are we not done coring that province? All right, so as soon as Gabu is cored, we will send our merchant down here, and we will transfer. So let's go ahead and unpause. I am still going to go at level 4. And so you can see, just in January, we can take this technology, and like I said, we're going to take this technology. So you'll notice that right now, we are rooting out corruption at only 0.01. So we're only spending ducats to root out corruption for 1. When I click this, however, now we're going to be spending rooting out corruption at plus point or at 0.09 because unbalanced research is at only 0.8. That's either a change or I have some modifier to it. So we're actually spending a lot more money on corruption now, rooting out corruption, and you can see that that is reflected in our balance being lower. But that's okay. So we're going to finish the core here on Gabu, and then that should give us the trade distance. It will also give us a little bit of colonial distance. So now I've built those 8 troops. We are now only making 3.48. That's fine. We're going to take these. We're going to put them in this army so it's at full combat width. We're going to take these and just kind of put them over in Porto so they're together whenever the ships get done building in a year. Now, we have a mission that has been fulfilled. Let's go figure out what mission we fulfilled. I converted Iberia. So this gives me a permanent claim down here in Morocco. That's good. So we're going to go to the Diplo map and see where that is. So that looks like these 4 for sure. And that would appear to be all that I didn't, at least that I didn't already have a claim on. So that is good. We're still working on Recover Portugal. We're still working on, I guess that's it. So we can look at naval dominance. We would have to get more galleys. That might just be the end here. It's not really the end of the world. These are all over in Italy and stuff. You can go for it if you want, but that's really not what I suggest as the main goal of what you should be doing here on this particular campaign. And then continue Reconquista would be to conquer these 4 areas. We do want these 4 provinces, but so far Morocco has, or not Morocco, the Mamluks have decided they want to keep them. We are at war. Okay. The Papal State must have called us in. Alright. So I don't think I want to send the missionary here. This is not going to be that much unrest. I don't currently have a transport to send anything down here should rebels become a problem. And so I don't want to increase the unrest here by placing a missionary. And on top of that, like I said, that much religious unity is not going to be that large of a problem. It's only 2% here, and we're already trying to convert Quetta to make it be the only one that's really a problem. So I'm not going to send this missionary until I have transports that I can actually fix it if there's a rebel problem. We're going to leave that up there, though. I can make a state out of it, though, which I guess we're going to do. And I'll spend the 45 admin to core that. And we have another mission fulfilled. That's probably Conquer New States. There you go. And state maintenance and harsh treatment cost goes down. If you want to min-max, you'll save this one. But I don't usually min-max to that far. But you would save that until 1600 roughly. Especially if you have the DLC that makes ages have things to them. Goals to them, but we don't currently have that. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the Conquistador on that army. This must have been... Oh, hey. I really don't know where that second batch of claims were, unless we didn't have a full claim to Aragon yet, but we do now. So let's go ahead and get some time flowing. Now we do have a colony that is just about done. Let's go to that colony. Alright, so our colony is self-sustaining. So you'll see that, yay, we become self-sustaining. We get 1 prestige for that. You can click go to if you want. We were already there. Excellent. So your colonist will come back in 1 day if there was a colonist on there. So there's the colonist. And you can now, go out from there. So if you go to colonial range, you'll be able to see that we actually have a little bit more distance because this is a core. Now, because Gabu technically counted, I think, it's not that much more distance, but it's something. Let's go ahead and make sure that it actually is the case that I can now. Yep, I can because Gabu is a core. Transfer trade, so instead of from Safi, we are going to go from the Ivory Coast. That will make us more money. I am 100% confident about that. Now, I got a notification that I have an idea. I'm going to go ahead and click that. We now have 25% more ships in our army, and we can fabricate claims anywhere in the Americas and Australia. So that's really, really good for exploration ideas. Expansion ideas. It used to be that expansion ideas would actually let you do that everywhere else, but that has changed. So the exploration idea is really, really good. So now if I want to, I can fabricate claims against the natives here. We already can see 2 natives here. You want to be careful with that, and I'll explain in a few colonies worth why you want to be very, very careful with that. But let's go ahead and figure out where do I want to put a colony. I know that this mission, we have to find Bani, wherever Bani is. Now, I'm pretty sure that we haven't found it. And so, as you can see, if I type in BANI, Albania is the only thing that comes up. And so we haven't found that province, so I'm going to assume that it's somewhere in the Caribbean because the mission is called Discover Caribbean. But the next one is Caribbean Colony. And that says that I have to own one fully colonized province in the colonial Caribbean colonial region. So, if you go over here to geographical map modes, I'm pretty sure, you can have colonial and trade regions. If you click that, now you can see where some of this stuff is. You can see the trade regions all around the world. These are all trade regions, and they correspond very nicely to trade trade regions. And if you have Wealth of Nations, you can create a trade company and look to my trade guide eventually when you understand the game a little bit better and you can understand what to do with that. Over here in the New World, though, and in Australia, they're colonial regions. They don't actually correspond to the trade nodes. So we have colonial Colombia over here, and we have colonial Brazil over here, and then this green is colonial Caribbean. And you'll notice that Trinidad is in colonial Caribbean. And so if I go over here to my colonial range, you'll also notice that I can get there. It's just barely, but I can get there. One way. If you couldn't get there for whatever reason in your game, then colonizing something in Brazil or even this one here in Colombia is not that bad of an idea, or even going to war for one is not that bad of an idea at all. But since I can get here, I'm going to actually click over here and I'm going to go ahead and send my merchant. I think I'm going to go ahead and send my merchant and hope that there isn't an uprising before I can get there with boats to get an army placed on the province. Fingers crossed that happens, because we do have a very aggressive native population that's relatively large, but we're going to try it anyway. So the colonists will arrive in 92 days, and that will increase the colony. In the meantime, I'm making far more ducats because, if you recall, instead of 6, it's now 2 because I only have 1 active colony. When he arrives, that will change. But I should be making a little bit more from trade, so it shouldn't matter too much. So that's the basic gist of what we're doing here. And Papal State is winning. Aragon is helping. So because I have Aragon, and for that matter, Algiers, they're actually giving me what is called war participation. So even though I'm not doing anything, Aragon is, and Aragon being my subject, transfers everything they do. I get credit for it. So Aragon has given me 6% participation. What that means is that if they were going to give me any land, they would consider giving me 6% of the land. that gets taken in the deep peace deal. If they take any ducats, I get 6% of the amount. So I didn't have to lift a finger. Aragon helps me out there. It's great. I like it. And we're just going to sit here. And let's go ahead and check on that institution and see what's happening here. All right, so it is 87% present there. It's 79% present here. So it is going to be Porto that gets it first. That's fine. All right, so I can build province. I can build buildings. These are really good buildings, but I do have to consider saving my money up. We could build docks to get more sailors at Diplotech 6. We're not going to do that. Not yet. Sailors are important to think about, but they're not overly important, especially for a nation like Castile. When you have a certain amount of coastline, you usually just simply have enough. You can sit over here and you can look, but for the most part, we have enough. All right, so the war is over, and if you click over here, you can see what happened. Venice is giving land to the Papal State. They're going to give 10% of their income, so they got war reps. That lasts for 10 years, and Venice pays 310 ducats to the stuff, or to the alliance. We should have gotten about 6% of that. It doesn't say here. It normally does, so maybe I didn't get much from it, but that's the idea there. The Reconquest, Cassius Belli, the Papal State suffers a aggressive expansion, and the Papal State gains 6 power projection. Fine. So that may have actually been part of the DLC that makes you call nations in with favors and things. Might actually be this separating out. As our colony in Trinidad has continued to grow and develop, we've begun to encroach on the territory belonging to the people referring to themselves as the Carib. They send jeers and insults to our native tongue and have even started raiding our settlements. One of our own men with sympathy for the savages has learned the Carib language, and he tells us they're claiming our colony in Trinidad is encroaching on their ancestral land. Apparently they demand that we grant them concessions or war will be inevitable. So we can do this. And we can make them go faster. Now this would be probably the option I would take if I had an army that was going to be over there in more than 4 months, but I don't. So we could pay them, and that has that option. So this is out. I would like it because I get 200 population. The natives lose size if I had an army to deal with them, but I don't have an army over there, so that one's out. And so we could gain 50 ducats, gain a tax in Trinidad, so it'll give more money to the colonial nation when it's formed. Or we can get a local settler increase. We get more settlers over time. We gain 5 prestige, and we have a higher chance of having them just join our colony. This actually is a very good option, and I'm going to go ahead and take this third one with a higher chance of assimilation. So we have a higher chance of a event that will cause 100 of the natives to just get transferred into settlers. And again, with colonies, once the settlement gets to 100 settlers, it's just done. So now you'll notice that this one actually has 65 settlers a year, 25 from technology, 10 from grant new world charters, which is one of the estate things that I think is only in the New World. It might be everywhere, but it definitely is in the New World. Land of Opportunity is 10, and then that native colonial integration of plus 25. So we are gaining settlers a lot there. Let's actually go and see if it is. So yeah, Great New World Charters is for all of them. But you'll notice that 25 there is not the case, so they're only at 45. So that is a good thing for us. That one is going to grow even faster. And you can notice if you lose your whole navy, it can be very problematic. All right, we're going to figure out what boats just got done building. That is a transport. That is a transport. That is a transport. Is this a transport? It is. There's 4. I like that. So we're just going to have the 4 transports come up here. And we're going to put an explorer in charge of that. Does not matter if he is good or bad. We're going to attach to that transport fleet. And we're going to send it out. Now, we're not going to suffer the same mistakes that we did last time. Right? We're not going to have it be the whole Navy that gets destroyed like that, because as you can see, it can take a lot of time to rebuild. And then we're going to figure out where all of our light ships are going to collect up. I'm relatively certain these are all light ships. They are. We're going to put them all there, and we're going to get our transports and put them all in Sevilla. That seems fine. So you can, let me see if I have it right. I think it's control. Yeah, so control, if you hold control and you bring it over a territory, you'll get the boats. If you just bring it over the territory, you'll get the armies. So that's important to remember. These are all transports, and so we're going to bring them all actually to where the army is my goal there. And so let's go ahead and let all that happen. And see, there it is. We have assimilated them. To our surprise, many members of the Carib tribe have chosen to adopt our language and etiquette and have integrated themselves into the Trinidad colony. These people are now considered another component of the unique cultural melting pot in Trinidad. So you can see there, gain 100 population in Trinidad. Boom. There it is. That's why you want to take that for sure. And, alright, so here are our 7 light ships that we had. We're going to have them protect trade. Now the question becomes where to have them protect trade. I'm actually going to take 1 boat off. Now I think I have to cancel the mission to take a boat off, but we're going to take 1 off to make it 10. And that 10 is going to continue to protect trade in Sevilla. This 1 is going to come up here with these and make 8 light ships. And I'm going to have them combine them together with the G key, and I'm going to have them protect trade in the Ivory Coast. These are the 2 nodes that I am using missionaries in at the moment, or not missionaries, merchants in at the moment, so that's why I would want them there. And it wouldn't hurt necessarily to go ahead and build the last 2 light ships to make, the Ivory Coast node go, and we're going to build them just down here in the Ivory Coast. So we have 10 and 10 there. And if we wanted, we could go ahead and build the rest of the light ships, but I'm trying to save up my money because the institution will be a thing here very soon, and you will need ducats for that. You will need money for that. So in fact, with no real unrest anywhere, I'm going to go ahead and mothball my forts. And actually this transport fleet, we're going to mothball the transport fleet as well. And I'm going to, well, I'm not going to lower my maintenance because I'm going to have the 4 troops that are taking to the colony and dealing with that. So we now have 197 already in our Trinidad colony, in our Caribbean colony. So that is something. Now, when you're at sea, and this is new for the patch, for the 1.30 patch, when you're at sea, your units take a lot of attrition. They're going to be very damaged. So you do want to kind of have them recover a little bit. And you can see already the ungrateful narratives of Trinidad are still coming up and attacking our settlement. But it's only 3,000. And we'll beat them back very easily, but it's a good thing we had our army ready and over here. So we are going to let them take a couple of months to regroup, and then because I'm wanting to continue to explore out here, I may go ahead and just send my explorer up here, and we're just going to continue the line of islands until we find Beni. and hopefully we can find Benny relatively quickly. If we can't find it by sea, then we'll come back with our troops when they're all nice and healed, and we will just attack the natives to make that happen. Oh, there we go. Get some Navy tradition. That will make for better explorers and better admirals. I kind of assumed it was Havana right here. But nope, that's still named Havana. You can see Miami up there. So let's go down here. That's still called Jamaica. We can lose 50 ducats and get a general, or we can gain 5 prestige. We need ducats. We don't need prestige, but because we need ducats, I think it's better to go ahead and gain the 5 prestige. And I'm going to hold the shift key to tell them to go somewhere after what I've already told them to go. No, don't pause. See another native tribe over here. And I cannot find Beni, but you can see we have 10 attrition, and we're already in the 50th percentile, so we're going to go ahead and return to Trinidad, and we're going to let our boats heal a little bit. But I have been Taco Bowler Gaming. I hope you have enjoyed this particular episode. And if you have, please do like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, what has been informative here, and I will see you next time.